I haven't filmed anything in ages. My usual filming area is not set up right now at all. There's stuff everywhere. We're trying to have a yard sale, so it's kind of the holding area right now. I wanted to talk about nest fragrances today. Now, typically when I'm exploring fragrances, I like to sample a variety of things from a house. Oftentimes that means getting a discovery kit or a sample pack that has lots of samples in it, which is great for if I read the notes and I'm really unsure if there's anything that I would ever think of committing to. However, there are certain houses that I resonate a lot more with, that I prefer to buy something that has mini sizes or travel sizes, like the Nest collection. So this has 7 of their original fragrances, and I also picked up a rollerball size of the Black Tulip. Now, as far as their newer scents that they've come out with, Black Tulip is the only one that looked interesting to me, and it looked interesting enough to blind buy, just rollerball. So let's start with Dahlia Vines, and this one is my least favorite. This one is the only one of these little tiny sizes that I would contemplate probably giving away, because I'm really not a fan of it. I'm not sure yet. I might use it as a work fragrance. But it's something, if somebody came to my house and smelled this and liked it, I would probably be like, just take it. It's fine. That being said, it's not a bad fragrance. It's just not me. The first thing I think of when I smell this is soap. Like, wow, that is a very thick lactonic soap. There's some sort of very fatty smell, like fatty lactone smell in here that I just can't get with, and the white floral on top of that fatty creamy lactone and that heavy soapy smell, almost that bitter soapy smell, like lye soap. That the smell that lye soap has, even raw lye soap with no fragrance, you know. The notes in it are daffodil, peony, rose, and garden vines, which actually doesn't sound too bad, but I'm not getting enough green from the garden vines and really not getting much rose at all. And I normally don't have a problem with the way peony and daffodil smell. I think it's just there's something else in here that I just don't resonate well with. So it's just not something for me. But if you do like blended floral soapy smells, this would definitely be for you. Next, let's talk about Paradise. Paradise, I was a little bit disappointed with. I had higher hopes for. It's not bad by any means. The first thing I get off of this is citrus, and I'm not a huge citrus perfume person. It comes through in it a little bit more. You get a little bit more of a woody smell after the cedar starts to wear away, and I'm just wishing that the ginger was a little bit stronger in this, or that ginger plant smell, like the ginger lily smell, was a little bit stronger, because I think that would have made this a little bit more rounded out for me, or maybe that's just the way it wears on my skin. So it's definitely good. It's not my favorite out of the bunch. I think this would be really nice in summer, a really nice refreshing smell. The notes in this are blood orange, white ginger, cedar, and watery nuances, which I also don't really get very much from this. Now, Amazon Lily actually did surprise me, but in a good way. It's really a nice fragrance. I wasn't expecting it to smell so tropical exotic. It's really nice. That's the description that comes to mind when I first smell it, is tropical exotic. The notes in this are Amazon lilies, lime, tangerine, driftwood, and musk. Now, you can definitely smell the lilies. It's great. You can definitely smell the lily, the lime. I don't smell much tangerine in it. The driftwood, you can get a scent of that sort of dry wood smell. And the musk is there. It's there after it wears for a while. This one is really nice. I'm not sure if I would. I think I would have to wear this a little while longer to decide if I would ever purchase a larger size. It would also be a fantastic a fantastic summer scent. Now, Verde is the first scent I ever tried from Nest. And the first thing that comes to mind when I smell this is green. Just green, which is called Verde, so appropriate. The notes in this are fern, cedar, verbena, and vetiver. I think this makes it a really well-rounded fragrance. And now we're getting into my favorites from this kit. This is Midnight Flare, and the first thing that comes to mind when I smell this is elegant. The notes in this are woods, patchouli, black amber, jasmine, and vanilla orchid, which sounds like it would smell very heavy, but it actually doesn't. It's quite well blended, and it's very smooth, and it's not like oppressively, it's not an oppressively heavy scent, but it's very elegant. This I'm definitely going to be getting a travel size rollerball in at some point. And I think it would make a fantastic fragrance for fall. Next we have Indigo, and the first thing that comes to mind when I smell this is mysterious, exotic. What I imagine when I smell this is a darkly lit room with a cup of black tea and cut figs on the table with some crushed cardamom. And the cardamom's not very strong, but it's definitely in there to give it some texture. And it's just so nice. I really like this one as well. I'm definitely going to be getting a rollerball in this one as well. The notes in this one are Moroccan tea, cashmere wood, black cardamom, wild fig, and bergamot. Now my absolute favorite out of all of these is white sandalwood, and it is actually quite sweet for me. I'm not huge into sweet. Actually, you know what, until recently I haven't been very much into sweet smelling fragrances, but I've kind of gotten there more recently. So this is on the sweeter side, but it's not like a warm sweetness. It's more like very comforting sweetness. I'm definitely going to be getting a full size of this. It is amazing. It's got sandalwood, it's got almond, which I think is where the sweetness comes from, and as well as musk and some spices. I could see this being a very versatile fragrance, but for me this is something that I would probably stick to in cooler weather, or at least cooler weather for our area, because I don't think this would work well in the 90-degree heat during the summer here. And now for Black Tulip, which is what I bought the rollerball in, and I'm glad I did buy this. I do like it. I do like it enough to actually use up the rollerball size of it. The first thing I smell in this is fruit, and fruit then floral and some sort of sharpness to it that gives it a little bit of texture. And it's very sophisticated for being fruity, and because to me fruity normally can tend to smell quite juvenile, and this one doesn't. It's a very sophisticated fruity smell, and I believe that's because of the black plum that's in it and the violet, which there's no tulip in it, or at least it's not listed in the notes. Again, another great fall time scent. So I know they also have a citron fragrance and passiflora, but after reading the notes in those, it didn't sound like they would be very interesting to me, so I decided to pass on those. So full size of white sandalwood is definitely going on my wish list, and a travel size of Indigo and Midnight Flare are also going onto my wish list. I know I'm a very new channel and still very small, but please give me a thumbs up if you can, and subscribe. I'd like to start doing more videos like this in the very near future, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. You can check out my contact and social media information below.